Morning, second years. So today we're moving on to a new topic, guys. And you'll see this in a new tab in your OneNote. Now, today we're going to be looking at it's called Ireland 1911 to 1923. Essentially, it's a road to Irish independence. So, how do we get to Irish independence? How do we go from O'Connell and Parnell up to a point where we actually had independence as a country? What I might get you to do, guys, is there's going to be less work in today's class than the last couple of classes, but maybe take out your notes copy and put that heading into your notes copy for me, please. So, new page, Ireland 1911 to 23, road to Irish independence. Of course, you can stop the video at any point to put that in, okay? Now, we don't need to take this down, guys, but this is essentially what we're going to be learning about in this chapter. So, we're going to learn about what nationalism is and what unionism is. They're two big words, and we're going to across those today. And we're going to learn why unionists were against Home Rule for Ireland. We're going to learn about some other key things like the lead up in the key event in Easter 1916. Most of you probably would have learned a little bit about that in primary school. We did a lot about that in this chapter. Explain the rise of Sinn Féin, the War of Independence when Ireland was fighting against Britain, the treaty we negotiated with Britain, the Civil War, and what happened in Northern Ireland after Ireland got independence. There's a lot in this chapter, guys. It's a really, really key chapter for learning about Irish independence and learning about why we are two countries on this island today. Obviously, we have the Republic of Ireland and we have Northern Ireland on the top, and this chapter explains why that is the case. This chapter starts on page 244 in your books, guys. Once I finish this video, we might go on to our books, okay? But you can actually stay just listening to this PowerPoint and taking out a couple of points in your notes copies for me now, guys. An introduction. And Mike, you take down these couple of points, guys. After the famine, there was a growth amongst Irish people to have more control of their own affairs. We were angry after the famine, and Irish people wanted independence, essentially. They wanted to be able to decide what happened in Ireland for themselves, not to be told what happened by Britain. Britain did let us down during the famine, and as a result, most Irish people now wanted independence of some form. And a lot of Irish people not so much didn't like being controlled by Britain, but actually resented it. Resented it is further, it's hating something. And many Irish people, particularly by the late 1800s, early 1900s, hated the idea of Britain having any control over Ireland whatsoever. Now, we learned about this obviously in the last chapter with Parnell getting within touching distance before his affair. Home rule was a demand of many Irish. Now, this is not full independence. Home rule is a form of independence. This slide explains it really, really well, guys. So make sure that you understand what this means. So home rule is the demand for the Irish Parliament in Dublin to deal with Irish affairs. So it's a certain level of independence for Ireland, but it's not independence for Ireland. We'd still have the British Queen or King, it was a king at this time, we'd still have him as the head of state. We'd still recognise the British Parliament, who'd make key decisions, so important decisions that affected Ireland, they would make. So decisions on tax, foreign affairs and defence would be made in Britain. Other issues like schools and hospitals and things like that, we would get to decide for ourselves under Home Rule. Now, the Act of Union. So since 1805, under the Act of Union, Ireland was considered a part of Britain. We were punished for the 1798 rebellion, which we touched on earlier on in the year. And a few years afterwards, the Act of Union was brought in, which kind of brought Ireland in as a part of Britain. And this is a map from the time. So I might just give you a second or two, guys. Have a look at this map and tell me what differences you notice on this map compared to a map that you look at today of Britain and Ireland. Firstly, England's the same, Wales is the same, Scotland's the same, but Ireland isn't. And what you know is different about Ireland is there's no border, there's no Northern Ireland, there's no Republic of Ireland. It didn't exist at this time, it was just Ireland. Ireland was part of Britain, there was no two countries within Ireland. So in Ireland there were two groups of different people, Unionists and Nationalists. Okay, it's going to be a key word, guys, we'll come up a lot over the next couple of classes. If I could divide your copy into half, guys, you only need about 6 lines for this. And on the left hand side we'll put Unionists, and on the right hand side we'll put Nationalists. This will be the last thing we're putting into our notes copy then today, guys. So, a Unionist wants to be part of Britain. I want you to copy this into your notes copy. They're mainly in Ulster, they're mainly in the top part of Ireland is where you'll find the Unionists, the people that want to stay part of Britain. And they tend also to be Protestant. they didn't like the idea of Ireland having its own parliament. They wanted to stay part of Britain. They didn't like home rule. They didn't want any independence for Ireland. They wanted to stay British. And on the other side, we have what's called a nationalist. Again, this is an Irish person, but it's an Irish person that wants Ireland to be independent. Now, they're situated all over Ireland, but they're least numerable in the northern part of the country, up in Ulster. That's where they're a minority. The rest of the country, they're a massive majority. So in where we are, for example, in Wicklow, it would have been 95% of people would have been nationalist. The religion is mainly Catholic. Most Catholics tend to be nationalists, very few Protestants. And their view was they want Ireland to have its own parliament and eventually be independent. Okay, guys, so that was finished the PowerPoint. I might just get us to go on to our books. So as I mentioned, we're on page, let's get the right page actually, we're on page 244 for the start of this chapter, guys, okay? We'll be doing a little bit more on this on Monday's class, guys, so but just to you maybe have a look at the learning intentions for this topic to get an idea about what we'll be learning about. Besides that, guys, we might finish there for today, okay? I'll keep it brief for today, but I will be checking your OneNotes, guys, your OneNote folders later on today, and checking that you have particularly the work done from earlier on in the week, so that you have the points from the video, the 3 points from the video, 3 questions from the video done from yesterday, and you have the Parnell mind map and the keywords done from earlier on in the week. Now, I know from having quick weeks, guys, a lot of you haven't done, but I'm just going to have a look through them today, and I'll be leaving, guys, if you look back through those posts, maybe later on today or over the weekend, you'll see there'll be an audio beside it. That's just me giving reflection, me talking back to you, saying what the work is done like, okay? Guys, any questions, email me, okay? But we'll leave that there for today.